Hello, just popping on. It's me, Lisa Marie. That girl with Moxie. Moxie's in there. She's in the living room. I'm in my dining room slash... It's actually, I shouldn't even call it my dining room. I don't eat in here. It is my little sewing nook. It is a small dining room, but my place is 2 bedrooms, and so I knew when I came down, I kindly bought it sight unseen. I didn't see it till I came down for the inspection, and I knew straight away I would use the dining area for my sewing area. It's an open floor plan, so when you walk in my front door, you do see pretty much everything downstairs. The kitchen has areas that you don't see, and the kitchen's just right there, and there's a bar that you would have had, bar stool height, chairs. But anyway, I'm gonna do a sewing room tour, not tonight, maybe I'll be ready next month. It's the end of March, pretty much almost now, because I've been working on it. I've stated in other videos, if you're new here, and thank you for my new subscribers, I appreciate it, and for the kind words and comments, brighten my day. And but if you just happen upon this video, I was widowed. It'll be 3 years ago next month. It was 4 days before my hubby's birthday. It was sudden in the sense that he kind of collapsed in our foyer up in Virginia, and then 6 months later he passed away. It was unbelievable, still unbelievable. But I moved from Virginia down here where I live now, near my oldest son, his beautiful wife, and my beautiful grandbabies. They live about 35-40 minutes from where I live. But I just jumped on. I was going to show another March make. I had said in previous videos, if you just happen to be, I'm sorry, I have literally 2 Boykin Spaniels at my feet, and so I'm holding onto the tripod because somebody's going to knock it over. Moxie, come here, girl. And they're just like children. As soon as you get on the phone, they hear. So, but I was going to just show a March make. I don't know that I'm going to make anything else this month. And this is my dear friend in Virginia is going to be, sorry, she's going to be a grandparent for the first time. And her daughter's an only child. And so I'm so excited for her. But I hadn't planned on making something for her daughter. Her taste is, she really likes earth tones. She was just going to go with something neutral. It wasn't going to be like a cutesy type of nursery. She just had some color tones that she had picked out. No theme. She knows she's having a little boy. There's no particular theme. Like, there's no motorcycles, Hot Wheels, Disney, you know, giraffes, whatever. Come here, girl. I'm sorry, she's whining, and I know she doesn't have to go out because we've been out. Anyway, so today is March 25th. Tomorrow is my Moxie's birthday. She'll be 2. But on to my March make. It's made this little teething ring. Now, typically, hang on, gotta go off camera 1 second. Typically, this would have been made, I would have made this teething ring with Minky on the back. I'm missing 2 big Sterilite tubs of stuff. Of sewing stuff. Minky was in one of them. And then the other one, I had a bunch of these sets that I'm going to show you pre-made. So this one I made specifically for my girlfriend's grandson, because her and I were on a video call with each other, and I was telling her how I couldn't find these two tubs. I said, they're just not here. And I had really got hosed over by the movers, and that's a whole different thing. And she said, well, I'm sure we packed. I go, it was all packed. I said, but it's not, I don't have it. It's not here. And I have some of those tubs underneath my bed in my bedroom. Nothing will really fit under the bed in the guest room. It sits pretty low, and it has like board games under it. I mean, every nook and cranny is taken around here. And so, because I moved from a very large house to half the size of what I had. But anyway, I opened a tub that had a lot of my flannels in it. And you're fine, Roxy. You're okay. Just come lay down, girl. I'll be done in a second. She didn't understand nothing of what I just said. But I made this teething ring. I think it's particularly cute. And like I said, normally I'd have Minky on the back side. Couldn't find the Minky. Couldn't find any Minky. I had gray Minky, which I thought would pair quite well with this. And like I said, when my girlfriend saw this fabric, she was like, oh, use that, use that. And I said, well, I wasn't going to make her anything because, I was just going to get something off her Amazon list. And she said, no, she'll love that you made it. And, but it is a precious print. I mean, it's so cute. But to give this a little bit of structure, I had this tea tag. It was brand new. And this was in one of the tubs I was going through. And it's that, not gauze. It's not gauze. Oh, flour sack. They call this flour sack material. And you can see it's cut up. And I'll keep that because I can use it on most of, one of these sets. So this is 3 layers. It's the flannel, flour sack, lined flannel. And there it is. And that's a teething ring. Isn't that cute? And what's nice is that this can, when babies like to chew on stuff, this can come off to be cleaned. So then there is this. It is a bib. We all know what a bib is. And, oh, see, I have my maker's tag. I don't know if that's coming in or not. Is that coming in? I can't tell. My eye's not great. But I put 2 snaps, so it's going to be good, when teeny tiny, and then can go 1 more snap. So I put 2 of those on one side. It's adjustable. Like I said, I put my maker's tag, and there it is right there. It's a sweet fabric line. And then this, it's a taggy fidget blanket. It's not really a blanket. It's a fidget taggy toy, I guess. But I've given these to a handful of babies so far, and each of the parents said that the baby loved this because all they have to do is hold it and it makes noise. There's very little attempt, and it's called taggies because you put these tags on it. And so there's 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, and then 1 is once again, I don't think that's coming in very clear. The maker's tag. And that's me. See it? And my birthmark. I think I got my birthmark on there. So there's that. And then last but not least, and I do have the little wood knobs that you can do the passy holder, but I don't think I'm gonna have time to make that before I go. And so I don't think I'm gonna have time to do that, because so typically then it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items that I had put, and this gives you a little more broad look. This is a birth cloth, and I redid my pattern, and there's my taggy again, and if she didn't want it on there, she can certainly cut it off. I could have cut it and just had it sewn it flat, but so it's, you know, it is neutral colors, like what is her preference, you know, earth tone colors. But this, I ended up making this wider but shorter. I'm not going to put it on me because it's, I'm not dirty, but anyway, and this, it's a very nice soft flannel, and it will just get softer each time she washes it. And so once again, 3 layers, cotton, and then the cloth on the inside. And but see how it's still, you know, so it just gives it a little bit of structure. Okay, I'm gonna pause. I'll be back because she's had me outside 4 or 5 times now. Do you gotta go hurry up? That's what we say for potty. You gotta go hurry up? She's just looking at me all cute. I'll be back. Okay. She didn't do anything. She's been just making me take her out. If I'm perfectly honest, she likes to eat poop. I'm pretty sure I've got it all scooped up. So, she's sniffing around out there. But I had an exciting day yesterday. I've been having some issues. This is a different note than my make, but that's my March make, is that little newborn gift set. And I hope she likes it. I think it's pretty precious fabric. And so I made it. Her mom picked the fabric out from what I had in my fabric stash. And if you see behind me about fabric, which that looks like more than what it is, I had a bunch. I'm organizing this a lot better because, like I said, January's the first quilt I finished. I did a small, and these were smaller quilts. And then February, I did one, and this is going to be my March one. I'm just trying to do something creative each month. And I'm going to be honest, I don't always look forward to doing it. It's not like it used to be, but I do think it's good for me to do this creative stuff. And, you know, it's nice to be able to give this away. That feels good. And that, you know, going to a dear sweet friend's grandchild. And so to be able to bless with some of my creativity, I do like that. But anyway, back to what I just showed you. Some of that's only like 1 yard of fabric, but I wanted it, I'm organizing stuff that was in tubs and whatnot. And I am going to do a little sewing nook tour. I want to spend another week or 2 on it before I do that. That might not be ready till next month. But what I did is I had tubs of fabric, and so I took some of it out, and I had a handful of these, and I put it on there. And this is what your fabric comes in on. And whenever I could get it from the fabric store, like if I was getting end of bulk. And also, if they just had empty ones, if you asked them, they'd give it to you. And so that's why, let me see if I can go back up. That's what is on there. And on the very top, though, most of that's just folded over on itself. And the main objective I had in putting it on these, I have a handful of them. The main objective was just so I would not have to press the fabric. If I don't have to use that iron, I don't want to. That was the main objective, was just not to do that. So I got 2 of these shelves on Marketplace, 2 in IKEA. You know, I wasn't necessarily planning an IKEA sewing room, but the price was right with the 2 shelving units I got from Marketplace. I have a sewing table here. This one was from IKEA. The other one is IKEA, but it's Marketplace. Sweet kind of story that goes with that from the young man that I bought it from. But anyway, I digress. Yesterday I was driving along, and yesterday it took me 55 minutes to get to work. You might say, oh, okay, 55 minutes. It's only 6 miles away. 6! Well, somebody at work that lives here too. I work in the next city over, but it's still next town, whatever. But it's still only 6 miles. And the traffic's incredibly interesting here. And real long story short, I know that's too late. Too late. I have to turn left out of my subdivision, and just sat there. I'm less than a mile to the intersection where the street light is, and it took me 25 minutes to go that far. That was the longest part of it. And but the funny thing is, and there's a lot of people, you know, complaining, saying, well, those people should be fired, they didn't do a good study. And it was horrible. Yeah, that's the worst it's ever been, to where there wasn't a wreck. There wasn't a wreck. That was just boom, normal flow. Well, I decided to see how many cars are getting through the red light. To hang the left, only 3 were getting, well, 6 technically, because the 2 lanes were left turn lanes. 3 in each lane, like legally, because people are still going through, and that is part of the problem. But that light, I kid you not, like it was barely yellow, and I was the 3rd car to get through, and I was hugging next to the other car. So I don't know, but today I left at the same time. Got to work in 25 minutes. So go figure that. Go figure that. Hey, Moxie girl. So, anyway, but so yesterday, though, when I'm going to work and I finally made it through on the left, all of a sudden I jump, because, I'm like jumping, because this person is at my window. What is it? What's this person doing at my window? Well, there was nobody there. And so I'm like, okay. So my eyes being a little cattywampus on me. I'm like, what in the world? And then I turned my head real quick. I'm not going to do it with my eyes open. But when I did that, it's like flashes of light. I'm like, okay, this has gone on long enough. Last week I was having issues. I've always have had floaters. So I thought, well, they're just kicked up. But there's like this black spot. This is when I thought somebody was coming up to the window. I thought somebody in my peripheral vision. I jumped so bad that when I looked over here, the person in the car next to me, they seeing what I'm doing. Seeing, just doing that, I get some flashes of light. So I called the local eye doctor in the city that I live in. I tell them what's going on. They said, oh yeah, you need to see somebody immediately. They said, that's not good. I said, all right. I'm sorry. I said, all right, I will. And I said, you know, I can leave work if I have to. Oh, well, we can't see you today. You know, this was yesterday, but they could see me today. You just told me. She goes, I go, well, you just said. She goes, yeah, you should see somebody immediately. I said, then I wouldn't wait around to see y'all tomorrow then. Because it was very concerning to me. So then someone at work suggested their doctor. I called and they could get me in like 30 minutes. And fortunately, they're just right around the corner from where I worked. And so she wanted me to get there, like she wanted me to leave straight away, but I wanted to stay at work as long as possible because I worked just half a day anyway. She goes, well, we want the paperwork filled out. She goes, because we're going to go to lunch at 1 because so many places close down from 1 to 2. They just don't stagger the employees for, anyway, a lot of businesses do that around here except for restaurants. Well, I said, well, I said, can you just send it to my email? And I was hoping that it was going to be a PDF that I could edit. It wasn't. So then I asked my boss if she'd print it off, and she did. So I had forwarded it to her, filled it out, went in. I really did like the eye doctor. She was very thorough. But tell you, the thing that really, and she did all the things, you know, a full exam. And one of the things that was startling to me, and it still is, like right now, talking, I see black. It's like a big, giant floater. But, so, you know, had me cover my eye, read this line. You know, you got the black thing, you cover your eye. I read the line, because pretty much I'm farsighted. And then this eye, like, I'm blurry on the screen. And things that I can read over there and see letters to, it's just all a blur. And I was like, I said, maybe that's why I've been having headaches, so many headaches. I thought it was from all the pollen. She said, potentially, it could be so. And she said that, she goes, we'll revisit this, though. She goes, I want you to know, she goes, overall, you're fine. She goes, I want you to know that first. So, you know, it's the good news. And she said, what's going on with your eye can be just a natural progression because of your age. And it's called it's not a retina detachment, because that's really what I was concerned about. She said it is I'm going to see if I get this right, posterior vitreous posterior vitreous detachment, where the gel in the back of the eye is detaching. And guess, you know, like your appendix and your tonsils, they're there, but you don't really need them. so anyway, she says usually it'll play out, you know, 4 to 6 weeks. So this started last week. I thought it was just a whole bunch of floaters, and basically it is. It's like the floaters have all joined in, and because the floaters over here they've always been like almost a transparent grayish, like bubbles. But this is like, it's black. It's just, and at times it looks like something's coming up on me. And if I move my head too quickly, the flashes of light come in. It was startling. Like I said, I thought somebody was at my window. But, so it just has to play out. So in 3 weeks I go back. So that'll make it 5 weeks total, that, you know, from the start to when I go back. to see how this is going. And if it's still, no ma'am, sorry, puppy. If it's still bothersome, then potentially laser surgery or whatever. But I will say the light flashing is not as aggressive as it was yesterday. So my prayers that it's already, taking care of itself. It's playing itself out. And that's what I'm rolling with. And so, like I said, I did like the eye doctor. I'd rather it have been closer to my home. But just because of how traffic is around here. But I really did like the young lady, the eye doctor that I saw. And so we'll find out in 3 weeks what's going on over here after this other situation remedies itself. Because like I said, I was alarmed. I found woo! I found that more concerning than the detachment that's going on, because, hopefully that'll just take care of itself, settle down in a normal fashion. But just how blurry and how I could hardly, how did I not notice this? And it's just because my right eye was overcompensating. And so we'll find out. But I will say the last time I went to the eye doctor was 2 years, 4 months ago. And I always went every year. But once I moved down here, I didn't go. I went right before I moved here to let my doctor up in Virginia know too that I wasn't coming back. But anyway, I'm going to stay on top of this because obviously, you don't want to lose your vision. And I hadn't really noticed. My pressure was a little high, but it wasn't alarming. And that was an issue before for me off and on, where my pressure would spike. But that's what I have for today. And like I said, I hope to get my little sewing nook done and do a little video on just my little sewing space. And so, and showed you my March make and my little helpers. One's drinking water in the kitchen, which is just right there with the openness of that. The other one, she's laying here. I think she's a little disgusted with me. She's ready to snuggle. But I just wanted to share that with you. And like I said, I'm going to finish this space up some. Just the fact that I was able to sit at my sewing machine in here, for me, that was like a major accomplishment. And I'm going to say goodnight, because it's night time for me. And I wish you all the best. And thank you once again for my new subscribers. I appreciate it. And for your kind words in the comment section. That's very dear. And God bless. And have a good rest of your week.